I decided to hook up a different 101. It's the one that's usually sitting above the one over here. And I just decided to hook it up. I didn't feel like hooking it up over here. I got too much clutter over here that I need to take care of. But it's only putting out 50 watts or so. I honestly don't really know. Most people would be like, oh, it's probably the tubes. Well, it's a good chance it's not, actually. But I think that, if I'm not mistaken, when I bought this, it came with an extra set of tubes that didn't match, but which is probably indicating that they are soft, but yeah, it's kind of a shame. The radios nowadays, if you need a set of tubes, it can be a real pain. It can almost be cheaper to find another radio. So I had the one radio I sold to Brian. I never seen one that hot, like 150 to 170 watts out, and they were like GE tubes. I don't know. It almost should have kept that radio just for the tubes. But also, there's a lot of other stuff that goes into it too. If the radio is out of alignment, you know, another thing I always do is I make sure that I play around with the pre-select a little bit. So if the pre-select, normally you're going to peak it where you got the most noise. But if the radio is out of alignment, that's not going to coincide where it makes the most power. And the pre-select, the plate, and the load, and all that, and the carrier are all going to affect how much power you put out. And you can tune these a bunch of different ways, and everybody's got opinions, and people get really upset if you do it a certain way. Some people say you never should use the tune because it puts out full power carrier. Some people say you should never do tune or AM. I usually put it in AM, and I start out low, tune it, and then crank it all the way up on the carrier, and just even it out real fast. And that's just how I've done it. But you know, and I don't pay attention to the meter on the radio too much. If I do, you see this one's on current, because I want to know if that thing's pegged all the way, then we know we got a problem. I don't worry about ALC or any of the other stuff on there. So this radio here, you can tell, see that color, the kind of root beer color? It's been exposed to too much sun. I don't know if the other one's like that. A little bit, but not as bad. And these radios, they'll actually start to turn brown. Especially these ones right here, it just starts to turn brown. See where it's turning brown? Where it says transceiver? You know, I've thought about getting rid of this one. And the only thing that really sucks about this one is the lettering's coming off. But I mean, how much money could I possibly get for this to where it would even be worth my trouble? Like, are you gonna give me $100? Well, the tubes are worth more than that. I mean, if we go on the computer over here and we take a look and see what are they charging for tubes. Let's go take a look. We'll just go 6JS6C. I don't know who Frank's Electron Tube is, but we look on eBay. Here's the set. These are the ones that are Toshiba ones that everybody wants. They're $126. They're more than the radio. Here's a single tube, $49 or best offer. Here's some new GE tubes, $205. Here's a single tube, $40. There's a single tube for $12, but it's a bid. We want to change this to right now. $70. So it's better to just buy another radio. It doesn't make sense to pay this kind of money. This is actually decent, I guess. Looks like it's about $42 plus tax. And then if you get ripped off and buy a bad tube, then $19 is not bad. Unbranded, what that means is they can't read the brand anymore. And it doesn't look too coffeeed up on the bottom. Oh yeah, I guess a little. That getter looks okay, I guess. It's a little coffee stained. That's gonna be your best tube. And I can tell you right now by looking at this that this probably is a GE tube. Or maybe, yeah, it's probably a GE. It's just the lettering's worn off. And that doesn't mean it's good or bad. There's another one, 19 bucks. $3 delivery. This is not bad. $19. Wow. And maybe I was wrong. And then, but they really want a lot for these Toshibas. Those are supposed to be the best. There's supposed to be a difference in capacitance between the American tubes and the Japanese tubes. But I don't know. I mean, they seem to be still fairly well available. Receiver audio preamp. That's not correct. That thing looks like hell, too. Anyway. Wow, $35 for two. Mine might need a driver tube too. Yeah, these are the ones. I've had some Westinghouse tubes, they're not bad. Sears. NEC. NECs are good. They can be really expensive, guys. They really can, but there's a lot of them on here for 20 bucks, which actually surprises me. And maybe people just don't want them anymore, you know? Well, people are having a hard time selling them. Sylvania's a lot of times have the lettering worn off on them too. See? Anyway, I've got 3 radios. They all use that tube. But I'm only going to use one radio, so I just keep my radios for the tubes, man.